Log date 1992. Hello, I'm Kevin and I'm a young Joro spider about to become an explorer. Oh, and I'm recording my first log. Like all young Joro spiders, I've got an amazing ability to travel. My species actually has been doing this for millions of years. At least that's what my parents told me. Today is the day I become an arachnonaut.
Paige, what do spiders and astronauts have in common?
Brandy, are they sending more spiders to space?
No, never mind. This will require a little imagination. So, you know how astronauts float in space?
I'm familiar with the practice, yes.
Well, many species of spiders do something really similar. Not in space, but right above us, in the sky. And Seattle's Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture has the specimens to prove it. The Burke has 200,000 spiders, and counting, in their collection.
That's a lot of dead spiders to keep track of.
Well, as you know, every specimen tells a story, and some of these spiders are telling a story of survival, risk, and resilience after a volcano's eruption.
What? Now there's a volcano in the story?
Yep. We'll get into that later. Spiders, like astronauts, go on amazing adventures. They both launch into the unknown.
The unknown? Well, that's one small step for spider kind and one giant nope from me.
Gossamer 1 here, checking systems ahead of launch. Temperature rising. Wind speed gentle. Sky status, we're clear for launch. Launching in T-minus 3 strands, 2 strands, 1 strand. Ground control clear for launch. This is Kevin aboard Gossamer 1 to ground control, checking radio. Hello? Silk Knot to ground control? I am ready to disperse and find a new home. Standing by for ballooning.
For hundreds of years, scientists have known that spiders float in the sky, that they do something called ballooning.
Okay, you just point out where the spiders are hanging out, and I'm going to keep my distance.
No, just wait. There's a really fascinating scientific realization in all of this. We've got a lot of ground and sky to cover. When spider eggs hatch, there can be anywhere between 2 eggs or hundreds of eggs at a time.
Ooh.
And some spiders, particularly when young, evolve to be able to launch in order to find new homes, to avoid competition with their hundreds of siblings.
I just know my 700 siblings are probably still fighting over the best section of the web. But not me. Today I joined the great spiders in the Sky Dispersal program. I'm kind of nervous, but hope I find something great out there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if I had to share a room with hundreds of siblings, I would want to move out too. But how do they know when to leave?
So they take a moment to prepare. Spiders need optimal conditions to take flight. They check the temperature, the breeze.
And then the spider stands on tiptoe and pulls out 3 or 4 silk threads and keeps pulling them out until there's enough silk out there for the wind to catch.
Rod Crawford is the spider guy at the Burke. He's the curator of arachnids and related research collections.
Houston, we have a curator.
Rod was actually part of the team that learned a lot of cool things about spider ballooning because of the volcano's eruption.
What can a volcano possibly tell us about spiders?
Okay, so in 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington. And the volcano's blast was really powerful.
Yeah, that eruption blew everywhere. My mom said her car, hundreds of miles away, got covered in ash. Some of it went as far as the Dakotas and even a little in Minnesota.
Whoa. This eruption was so intense, it created a new landscape known as the Pumice Plain. Some people said that the forest area around Mount St. Helens looked more like the moon.
The moon? Okay, so that sounds like it was vast and empty. I'm picturing a lot of craters and crevices.
This eruption was so huge and so devastating that it wiped out everything in the area. And that meant that scientists could see what new living things arrived.
We had a blank slate. We could tell what things were migrating in from a long distance away, which is something you can't very easily tell in the middle of something like a forest, which already has a lot of things living there. How can you tell what's new?
Imagine you're counting stars in the sky. The city lights might get in the way. It's really hard to keep track. The whole picture is hard to pull together.
Yeah, I always have to go out pretty far away from the city lights, at least, to see a sky full of stars.
Right, but when the volcano erupted, it was like someone turned the lights off. The blast cleared everything away. And so it was much easier to see and count spiders landing. But it would be a while before they could get there. Rod and the team couldn't go to Mount St. Helens right away. They had to wait a few years to get to the site.
Okay, yeah, science isn't always fast.
But when he finally got there, he and his team set up shop to collect their specimens, and they set up all kinds of things.
All kinds of different little gadgets. Pitfall traps, window traps, flight traps, sticky traps.
Just a bunch of traps.
Hold up. He caught the spiders when they were still alive?
Yeah, Rod caught 14,000 spiders over 6 years.
Whoa! Okay, hang on. If my math is right, they killed 6 spiders a day.
Which is a teeny tiny drop in the bucket compared to what was there.
What the web?
So on a given warm day, if you look up at the sky, you might see little threads floating in the air. Chances are you're not looking at 14,000 spiders. You're looking at millions of spiders. And we know this because of the spider specimens collected at the Mount St. Helens site. The spiders would drift down and plop right into a little cup trap, preserving them forever.
Bleep, 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 bleep. Whoops, splash.
Not every spider made it into a trap. There was so much wind out near Mount St. Helens because all of the trees were gone. There was nothing to filter out the gentle or strong breeze. And so spiders weren't the only things being tossed around by the winds.
And so some things we set in place to collect specimens that stuck very far above the ground were quickly blown away.
And the winds blew dust on all the traps. And so some days they didn't collect anything.
Whoa, it's actually really messing with their scientific research.
Yeah. But these winds also meant that spiders were coming in by the millions from far away.
How far away?
A minimum of 250 kilometers.
250? That's 150 miles. So that is like launching in Seattle and landing in Portland, Oregon. Such a long journey to be hurling yourself into the wind.
Yeah, it is. You're really good at math, by the way.
Thank you.
Spiders are ballooning far and wide, and some have even floated across the ocean and landed on ships.
Whoa, that is incredible. Also kind of scary, though, floating out to sea. Isn't that risky?
Oh, totally. But spiders check conditions before they take off.
Oh, yeah, the wind. the temperature. But I don't know, I can't imagine floating high up in the sky and then across the ocean.
What if we tried looking at it with an enhanced spider perspective?
And how would we do that?
With a game called
Would You
Rather? Spider Mission Vision Edition. This is a game where we imagine what choices we'd make if we were spiders floating up in the sky. Are you in?
Yeah, bring it on.
Paige, would you rather navigate in a treacherous storm to the perfect beach vacation or wander around on a perfectly nice day but have no destination?
I'm just sitting with this. I would choose perfect travel conditions and then let it be a surprise where I end up. I'm just feeling like safety first. Plus, it's way more relaxing as I float through the sky.
Okay, balloon across the ocean or balloon down the side of a volcano?
Ooh, down the side of a volcano sounds fun.
What happened to safety first?
Oh, okay, yeah, but I like hiking and snow sports, so ripping down the mountainside sounds so fun. Safely, of course. I could have a helmet or a harness, right?
Well, no, because you're a spider in this situation. Anyway, would you rather have extra strong silk to help you get more insects when you land, or weak silk that would give you the ability to steer in the wind?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna go with weak silk, gentle landing.
And would you rather balloon high or balloon far?
Ooh, let's go far. Then I get to see more scenery. Get me out of here. I can see Canada already. Okay, that was fun. I like getting into that Spidey headspace.
Nice. But do you know what's wild? Spiders don't actually get any choice.
What?
I mean, some spiders can steer with their legs, but once they release those silk threads, they have no idea where they'll land. They're just going with the breeze?
Okay, wait a second. So I'm over here picking safety first in this Would You Rather game, and spiders don't have the option.
Yes, just like astronauts, spiders boldly go into the unknown. And like astronauts, they have equipment to get through it.
Okay, go on.
So spiders may not get a say in where they land, but they do have silk threads that help them navigate. Spiders use special organs called spinnerets in their abdomen, like a tiny nozzle that releases those threads. They use their spinnerets to release the threads and float around, and then they also need to pull those threads back in for landing.
It's like if spiders could fly kites, it'd be something like a spider flying itself like a kite.
That sounds fun. But what's the point of collecting these spiders for specimens if the proof that they fly is up in the sky?
That is a really fair assessment. It takes being alive to pull those threads in and out. But this research was not driven by that kind of discovery. Rod was there to learn what arrived and survived. So after the break, we'll head to the Burke Museum's Fluid Lab to meet the pioneer spider specimens telling that part of the story.
Hey, did you know this show is actually being made because of the people who support KUOW Public Radio? Yep, we love them. If you want to help out, go to kuow.org/spectacular.
Whoa! Gossamer 1 to all units. This view is incredible. The gale force winds out here are still strong. The breeze keeps changing direction, but I think I'm headed southeast. Wherever I land, I just hope there's some good food, a place to set up my web designing project, and maybe start a family. Standing by for wherever the wind takes me.
You know how after a space mission to the moon, the team brings back samples?
Samples like freeze-dried ice cream.
Samples of the site.
Oh, like moon rocks. not as tasty.
Rod did the same thing by collecting spiders in special traps. The Burke spider collection may not be tasty, but these spiders are important for all kinds of research. This is the proof that spiders landed and survived at Mount St. Helens.
If you don't have the proof, then it's not science. Somebody just has to take your word for it.
The fluid lab at the Burke Museum has all the proof. And that proof is preserved in jars and vials. These are called wet specimens. And unlike skeletal specimens or furry study skins, spider specimens have to be prepared in fluids to last.
You've probably seen a dead spider all curled up and shrunken.
I sure have.
That doesn't make a good specimen. So it's necessary to preserve spiders in little containers of alcohol in order to keep them flexible, keep all their different structures intact, so in case of need they can be pulled out and examined.
In the fluid lab, the collection is arranged by species.
And this is the species that never survived on the pumice plain because it only lives in trees.
The eruption at Mount St. Helens wiped out virtually everything around the surrounding area. Ash filled nearby lakes, and the blast wiped out the surrounding trees. And with no plants around, it's hard to imagine any spiders being able to make a home.
Plants are very important to spiders, or at least a stable habitat that with rocks to hide under and things that doesn't wash away every time it rains hard.
But after a few years, things around Mount St. Helens started to recover, and plants started sprouting up.
And the first plants were lupin, willow, and fireweed.
These plants mark the beginning of what scientists call pioneer habitats. Habitats that begin to grow after a huge event, like an eruption. And these areas are crucial for some super special species.
Ooh, try saying that 5 times fast.
Some super special species.
Some super special species.
Some super special species. Some super special species. Some super special species.
Let's see.
Along a well-organized wall of glass vials and trays, Rod notices a section of pioneer spiders.
The ones from the Mount St. Helens pumice plain start about here and end about here.
Pioneer species are the ones that are tough enough to set up new lives after a place has been changed by floods, fires, volcanoes.
So these are some very resilient spiders.
Absolutely. They survive there and help make it possible for even more species to return and survive.
So these early spiders show up and they set up the community.
Yeah, and that's what makes these spiders so special.
I love them.
Come on, community spiders.
Come on, community spiders.
Rod and the team saw spiders starting their lives in this barren landscape. Like, they saw a mother wolf spider carrying eggs around.
It's raining wolf spiders?
I mean, would it help to know that spiders that balloon are just really small?
Probably not. But how small?
The body may be as big as an M&M at most. A leg span probably less than a quarter.
I could probably handle a candy-sized spider. That's not so bad. But wait, could like a tarantula travel by air? Could a black widow travel by air?
Tarantulas are a very good example of a group that cannot balloon.
Ground control, I've got a cousin in the rainforest. The guy's a huge tarantula. Used to pick on me for the first few hours I was alive. I wish he could see the world from up here, like if he only knew what a small creature like me could do.
On the other hand, black widows belong to a group that can balloon.
I'm feeling a little dizzy.
Small spiders go on great adventures, and they do it to survive, to live their best lives. The ability to travel far really packs a punch for the species that can do it. The competition lessens and the diversity of species stretches across a region, the world.
If your population consists only of what's within a few feet of where you first evolved, some disaster, like a volcano, is going to happen to that one little spot on Earth, and your species is gone forever.
Oh, as a species, you gotta spread around or poof. So vulnerable.
We know they can't thrive every place they land, but they disperse in such huge numbers that some of them are sure to find a place where they can thrive. And that's why we have spiders. That's why we have any living thing.
Arachnids of all kinds are incredibly important. Seeing them attempt to survive and then thrive is key in understanding our own survival.
If spiders didn't exist, we wouldn't exist either. They do far more to keep the whole biosphere running than vertebrates like birds and mammals.
Those are fighting words, Rod. What's his beef with mammals?
It's not that, but spiders help control the insect population, which helps maintain balance in the food chain, lessen disease. Spiders eat so many insects that the impact has a ripple effect throughout the ecosystem. Plus, spiders are considered food to birds and mammals as well, so in a way, they're always given to the community. If all spiders stayed put, they would be in big trouble. Moving around helps a lot.
Nice. They're kind of giving themselves options.
Exactly. Spiders are doing something really smart for their species. Sure, not all of them survive, but when millions of them are floating around,
Then the odds are in their favor.
that's how spiders have survived for millions of years, by putting themselves out there. Up there?
You know, it's pretty amazing that these little spooky creatures that I am usually scared of are teaching us something about taking chances.
Oh boy, it's totally time for a big think.
Big thing!
Big think question. How can we be more comfortable with being adventurous? I know trying new things can be really tough. Leaping into the metaphorical wind for a new adventure, a new home, a new school.
A new after-school club or instrument or sport.
Yeah, any of that can be a little overwhelming sometimes. Paige, I know maybe you and I aren't going to go skydiving anytime soon.
No.
But maybe there's something to how spiders take risks. I bet there's some good stuff about getting out of your comfort zone and into the unknown.
I mean, spiders make it look so easy. They check the weather. They have a strong supply of silk. But what would I do? I don't know. I'm pretty different from an 8-legged astronaut.
Sounds like we need a moment to think about it. We'll be back. Hey, have you gotten your activity book for this episode yet? Well, there's some pretty cool stuff in there. Like, you can play your own game of Would You Rather. You can get your free activity book at the link in our show notes or by texting SPECTACULAR to 206-926-9955. Okay, back to the big think. Hey, hi, we're back and jumping into the big think question. How can we be more comfortable with being adventurous? Paige, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking it might be helpful to play Would You Rather again.
Oh, yeah? I mean, it was fun, but why would we play again?
Okay, I know, but in the spider edition, there were all those options about navigating the world as a tiny spider, and that actually kind of helped me assess risk. I had to make a decision, so it made me think about what would be best for me. So I want to play again.
Yeah, maybe we can do a human edition, though, and it'll help us navigate our own adventures.
Exactly.
It's time for a round of
Would You Rather?
Human-based Would You Rather Spider Mission Vision Edition. Would you rather try a new activity you absolutely love where none of your friends are, or join the same club as your friends, but you're not really interested in the activity?
Ooh, that's tough. I love bringing a buddy. I think this time I'd venture out on my own, like a small spider. Sometimes you gotta get out there on your own. And hey, maybe my friends would even end up joining me because I'm having so much fun.
Would you rather be the first one to perform at a talent show with a skill you're just learning, or go last with a skill everybody knows you're good at?
Oh, I'm gonna go first because I want to try something new, and I don't really want a lot of prep time. And what if everyone's surprised and excited for me, like, whoa, I didn't know she had it in her? It'd be just like those pioneer spiders, starting something new and impressing everyone.
I would be impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, last human edition question. Would you rather go hang gliding when the weather is rough, but you can control where you land? Or get up in a hot air balloon and be at the mercy of the wind?
Brandy, you can't trick me. We're supposed to be doing a human edition. This is basically how spiders prep for the wind.
Well, some humans take to the winds too.
Okay, fine. I'm picking the hot air balloon.
That's one giant leap towards adventure.
Gossamer 1 to web control. I'm picking up optimal landing conditions. Scanning territory below. Ground control, we have a touchdown. Initial readings show multiple food sources detected, low sibling competition, and yes, perfect web building conditions. Mission status update, this is Gossamer 1, officially declaring the site my new home base. Over and out.
Okay, that'll do it for today. Thanks for thinking big with us. And of course, friends, tell us about your big think. How do you drum up the courage to spread out your silk threads and soar into new experiences? There are all kinds of ways to get in touch in today's show notes. Spectacular Specimens was created by me, Brandy Fullwood,
And me, Paige Browning.
with KUOW Public Radio in Seattle in collaboration with the Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture, with fact-checking by April Craig. Our theme song was composed by Emily Noakes and mixed by Eric Blood. And actually, Emily Noakes composed lots of the other music too.
Ooh, those little sprinkly glockenspiels.
And the shimmery vibraphones. Love those.
Yes.
If you like our show and want to hear a whole lot more of it, please rate it and review it. It really helps.
Oh, and share it with all the cool kids and adults that you know.
Talk soon.
Bug you later.